So, have you ever had one of those days where you're fine and everything seems to be going good and you're feeling pretty good about yourself and all of a sudden you're not? Well, that was me this afternoon at a McDonald's drive-thru of all places. And it reminded me that my patience isn't always as solid as I think that it is. So, welcome back to Opa's Evening Review. This is second episode, my first check-in, if you will. So I've been trying to make this evening review a daily habit, if you will, reflecting honestly on how I've behaved each day, what I've done well, what I haven't done so well, what I want to do better tomorrow, and been writing it down in my journal each evening. So the last couple days since I started this practice have been pretty easy. My granddaughters have been here from Toronto, first time visiting the United States, and so they had all kinds of excitement. We kept busy. We had a blast. It was not hard to stay in good spirits and to stay engaged. Really didn't have much choice. But they left yesterday after having a great time, and today was our recovery day. So I ran a few errands, did some unprompted laundry and cleaning, thought I was doing pretty good, feeling pretty good about myself and the changes I was trying to make. So I had some errands to run, and one of them was to stop at McDonald's and get my wife a couple of iced teas, and I figured I'd get us a couple of snack wraps for lunch. So I get out my mobile app and I put it in, couple iced teas, a snack wrap meal, 2 snack wraps. And I hit the pay button, pull up to the window, and I'm telling them I've got, a drive-through, a mobile order. And they said, we don't see it on our system. And I look, and here, for some reason, the app decided that it should send it to a McDonald's in Waterville, 20 miles away from where I'm at. So it's like, okay, patience, that's all right. Not the end of the world. I'll just cancel that. And so in the meantime, I pull up to the, so I pull up to the window and she says, yeah, no, we don't have anything. I said, well, okay, so here's what I want, 2 iced teas and a snack wrap meal. It comes with 2 snack wraps. And she says, okay, that's $17 or whatever. And I'm thinking to myself, why does that seem expensive? And so I look at the receipt and I start pulling away so I'm not blocking everything up. And it's saying $11.79 for a snack wrap meal with an iced tea. And for some reason, I get in my head that, no, she charged me too much. That's twice as much as it should be. Okay, stay patient, no problem. So I pull up to the next window and I, show the guy the receipt. And he calls the manager and, a younger woman. And she looks at it and she said, well, no, that's the price that's on the receipt. I said, well, I know that, but it seems like it's twice as much as what it should be. Well, no, sir, that's the price that's on the receipt. So I'm like, okay, all right, patience. And so I say, okay, whatever. So thanks. And I pull away thinking, okay, not going to lose my temper, going to keep my patience, but I'm going to go inside. This is twice as much as it should be. So I pull around and then go inside the dining room and I, go up to the counter with my sort of righteous but patient indignation. And I asked the guy there, I said, this seems like it's, too much, and, well, how much is it supposed to be? And I said, well, I don't know. Look on your menu there. And so we both look up at the menu and it's $10.99 plus whatever you pay for the drink. Just like every other meal on their menu is right around the $10 mark. And I'm like, you know what? Sorry, buddy, this is on me. And so I, grab my bag and my phone and my wallet and I scurry out the door with my tail between my legs, feeling like a total idiot. Say, what is wrong with me? Why did I get it in my head? It's not like this is the first time I've ever been to McDonald's. So I get home, fussing and sputtering, and my wife says, just come sit down, eat your snack wrap, relax, it's all right. And so I said, okay, well, let me grab my phone. I'll come sit down, check some, where's my phone? So I start looking, of course, no phone. Not in the car, it's not in the garbage, it's not in the kitchen. So my wife calls it, and Tiffany at McDonald's answers, and I hear my wife, yeah, he'll be right over. And I'm like, oh, man. And they found it in the doorway of McDonald's, so I dropped it on my way out the door. So back to McDonald's I go with my biggest sheepish smile, and she goes, here you go, sweetie. And I said, thank you very much. And I get out of there just as fast as I can. So here's the thing. I've always thought of myself as a patient person, even though I know sometimes that's not always the case. But this was a case where I was making a deliberate effort. It's like, okay, not going to lose my temper. You know, they're just kids working there. You know, they're got to be nice to them and stuff. And while I was so busy focusing on this, on that part of it, this whole price thing just kind of snuck in around through the back door and totally led me off a cliff of making all sorts of wrong assumptions. And, you know, call it a senior moment, call it what you will, but it was just totally a lack of thinking on this guy's part. Had I just taken 2 seconds in that drive-through line to think about, well, no, wait a minute, any other time I buy a meal, it's always in the $10 range. I guess this is reasonable. None of this would have happened. So that's my lesson for today. Patience is a muscle. You got to exercise it. And if you don't use it, it starts to atrophy and it's not there when you need it. So what about you? When was the last time impatience kind of snuck up on you and something very innocent snowballed to where all of a sudden you're thinking, how on earth did I get myself into this mess? It happens to all of us. So if you've had times where this has happened to you, I'd love to hear about it in the comments just to know I'm not the only one. So otherwise, this is Opa checking in on my evening review. Day 2, I guess. So I will be back with you on Wednesday.